I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. The Obama administration has harshly criticized UN Special Rapporteur Richard Falk for his calls to boycott companies that deal with Israeli settlements. Falk, who is special investigator on human rights in the Palestinian territories, said the companies, which include U.S. businesses Caterpillar, Hewlett-Packard, and Motorola, appeared to be violating international human rights and humanitarian laws by exploiting Palestinian resources and helping Israel construct illegal settlements. He wrote in a report Thursday, "My main recommendation is that the businesses highlighted in the report, as well as the many other businesses that are profiting from the Israeli settlement enterprise, should be boycotted until they bring their operations into line with international human rights and humanitarian law and standards." U.S. Ambassador to the UN Susan Rice called Falk, quote, highly biased, and his call for a boycott, quote, irresponsible and unacceptable. She said Mr. Falk's recommendations do nothing to further a peaceful settlement to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and indeed poison the environment for peace. His continued service in the role of a UN Special Rapporteur is deeply regrettable and only damages the credibility of the UN. Meanwhile, Israel's UN mission called the report, quote, grossly biased and said Falk should be replaced. Karen Peretz, spokeswoman for the Israeli mission, said Israel is deeply committed to advancing human rights and firmly believes that this cause will be better served without Falk and his distasteful sideshow. A spokesman for Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister John Baird called Falk's report offensive and called on Falk to either withdraw the report or resign. Jewish organizations here in the U.S. also condemned the report. The Anti-Defamation League had called on UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon earlier to rescind his preliminary endorsement of the report and to distance his office from Falk, calling the report, quote, tainted from the start in its message and by its messenger. B'nai B'rith International expressed its outrage, with President Alan Jacobs saying of Falk, once again, his aim is to unfairly single out Israel and to undercut both its security and those who are engaged constructively with it. In turn, he poses a threat to progress and to peace. Falk, who is an American professor emeritus of international law at Princeton, has a record of anti-Israel statements. He has previously compared the Jewish state to Nazi Germany and accused it of crimes against humanity because of its treatment of the Palestinians. The president of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald Lauder, welcomed the recent expulsion of Bishop Richard Williamson from the Catholic breakaway group Society of St. Pius X, or SSPX, but said it should have been done years ago. Lauder said it's good that the hate monger and Holocaust denier Williamson has finally been sent into the wilderness, but this is a decision the SSPX leadership should have taken years ago, when the cleric openly denied the existence of gas chambers. It is too little, too late. In a 1989 speech, Williamson had claimed that there was not one Jew killed in the gas chambers. It was all lies, lies, lies. He reaffirmed this view in 2008. The SSPX released a statement on Wednesday saying that Williamson had been declared excluded, having distanced himself from the leadership of SSPX and from not showing respect and obedience for its leaders. While welcoming this action, Lauder noted that SSPX has not yet fully dealt with anti-Semitism within its ranks. Lauder also thanked Pope Benedict XVI and Cardinal Kurt Koch, the Vatican official in charge of relations with the Jews, for their unequivocal condemnation of anti-Semitic tendencies in the Church. In medical news, Reuters reports that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved a new leukemia treatment from Teva Pharmaceutical Industries, headquartered in Israel. The treatment will be sold under the brand name Synribo, and is approved to treat a type of the blood and bone marrow cancer called chronic myelogenous leukemia, or CML, in patients whose cancer has progressed after other treatments. Richard Pazdur, director of the Office of Hematology and Oncology Products in the FDA Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, said today's approval provides a new treatment option for patients who are resistant to or cannot tolerate other FDA-approved drugs for chronic or accelerated phases of CML. And finally, in sports news today, a new policy has been put into place to protect religious observance in private and parochial school athletic competitions in Texas. Several months ago, an Orthodox Jewish school in Texas was refused a rescheduling of their basketball state tournament game that fell on a Friday night. The Texas Association of Private and Parochial Schools, or TAPS, had initially rejected the Robert M. Barron Academy of Houston's asking to change the time of the game so it wouldn't conflict with Sabbath observance. TAPS ultimately moved to the game time after several Barron Academy parents and students filed a lawsuit. While TAPS has now changed its policy, they posted an accommodation for religious observance on their website, which they say will be the standard, providing the opportunity for all of their member schools and students to participate in team sports and competitions. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.